Hello my dear friends, welcome to Arte y Cocina with Lizzie. Today we're gonna cook some shrimp and we're gonna do some shrimp empanadas. So let's go ahead and start, and I'm gonna tell you what you need to cook this delicious meal. Okay my love, this is what we're gonna need. We're gonna need shrimp, and I bought this one that is peeled, is the vein, and is extra small. Okay, I'm gonna cook the whole bag. It's gonna turn to be not that much because they shrink, and this one is already pre-cooked, so excellent for us. We're gonna need some dough for the turnovers, which we call empanadas or empanadillas, and the Goya brand is the best. It's the one that I really like, and you can find them in Publix. We also is gonna need some red sweet pepper. You can find it in any grocery store. They sell it in different little bottles, bigger, and they come really tiny dice. That's the one that you need if you want them. You don't need to use them, but I like to use them. We're gonna need some sofrito. We're gonna need half of a cube of chicken bouillon. Here is the half. The sazon Goya. Some stuffed olives. We're gonna need them cut finely, like the see, I cut the olives, and I also cut finely the little peppers. And we're gonna need the oregano, the cumin, some tomato sauce, some oil for cooking, and we're gonna need a small potato cut in tiny pieces, well, small pieces as you said, and you're gonna boil them with salt water, and when they're done, just drain the water and keep them apart, okay? So we're gonna start cooking now. Okay, we're gonna start cooking like I always do. First, a little bit of oil. Remember, this is gonna be like a spoon. The measuring that I showed you before is gonna be like, I don't have that spoon, but you can measure in this kind of spoon, 1, 2, and that's it. And let's go ahead and move this. See, this is about a spoon and a half. One of these spoons, my friends. Now we're gonna add the sofrito. Okay, let's put this up like on 8. Let's put a little bit more, about 2 teaspoons of sofrito. Full, really full. Remember that I love sofrito, that's why I use so much. I'm gonna look for something. Okay, let's keep going. I was looking for culantro, I don't have any. Once we have this, we're gonna add half of the cube, chicken cube, the olives and the pepper, and we're gonna move this, and like I always said, it smells delicious, my friends, really good. Look how pretty it looks with all of those colors, huh? Now I'm gonna look for some water, and this is about half cup. We're gonna put a little bit of the half cup first. Okay. A little bit of cumin. Remember, that is all depends your taste. It's how much you use in the cooking. a little bit of oregano, about this much. The sazon for color. Remember the tan. We need to give a tan to all our food. And we're gonna move. Now that we have all of this mix in here, we're gonna add the shrimps. And I rinse my shrimps, okay? Remember that they're done. We don't want to take that long. They're very cold, that's why they got all together like that. Since they are still a little bit frozen, they probably we probably get a little bit more water from the shrimp in this dish. And let's go ahead and put this on high, because since it was so cold, they got cold again. Let's clean a little bit here. And let this get the flavor. And as soon as they get the flavor from the sofrito and everything that we put in there, then we're gonna add the tomato sauce. Probably it's gonna be like half of the can. I'm trying to give you measurement because, like you know, I do not never measure. And when I measure, it's a little bit more difficult for me. But I'm doing this for you so you have an idea what you can use, okay? And this is how tiny, look how tiny these sweet peppers look. Okay? They sell them like that. They sell a little tiny bottle with them already cut. But like I said, it's your choice. You don't need to use them. But I do. And sometimes I don't put it. But this time, I want to use it because I have it. And look how pretty it's looking. So let this rest in here for a minute. And we're gonna keep going. It's smelling really, really good. And it's gonna be done pretty soon. Okay? Now we're gonna add the potato, but first I like to try the sauce. And it's perfect. We're gonna get the potatoes. Here is this is how I cut them, and you probably have to cut them a little bit more when we're making the empanadas, okay? But meanwhile, we're gonna put this in here. You can also eat these with some rice or mashed potatoes on the side. And it's like when I cook the chicken wings, same thing, but we add a few things. Now we move them, and I don't like to put too much water either on this because we're gonna make empanadas and they can have too much sauce, because otherwise when you fry them in the hot oil, they're gonna, you know, they can the oil can start jumping everywhere and burn you. Okay, so now we're gonna put some sauce. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, this is teaspoons, 5 and 6. Let's put one more, 7. It's about half of the can of the sauce. And we're gonna move this And we're just gonna let this to thick a little bit more. Okay, and it's done. All they're doing is getting the flavor really good. I'm gonna put the heat down to about 6 so they don't burn, and then we're gonna wait until this cool down to make the empanadas. Okay, this is how it's looking. Okay, it's looking pretty good. It's done. While it was cooking for about 5 minutes, okay, I add this much water again, which is a quarter of a cup. Here it is, a quarter of a cup. I add a little bit more, and I waited until they look like you see it right now. I'm gonna turn off the stove, and this is ready to start putting together our empanadas. Okay, so you're gonna let it get cool down, and then we're gonna start putting all of that stuff together. So the shrimps are ready, they cool down, and this is what I do. Okay, I have the empanada shells, and it's good for you to put it outside and have them at outside temperature, okay? Because if they're too cold, they don't work as good when you seal them. So I also have some baking sheets, and what I do is I cut them in 4 because it's a big sheet. I cut them, excuse me, and I put one in these foam plates. You can use the round ones too. And the reason I do this is so the empanadas don't get stuck on the plate, okay? So this is what I do. I explain you while I'm doing this. This is the cheese that we're gonna use for one. That is gonna be the cheese empanada. So let's take some shrimp. We're gonna put it in there, as many shrimp as you want first. Let's put 6 because they're little. Then we're gonna get some potatoes. Don't push too much of the gravy because then when you fry, like I said, it's gonna be a mess. And if you see a potato that is too big, just cut it in little pieces, okay? Because the empanadas are small. The disc is not that big, okay? So now that we've done that, we're gonna turn the empanada. I mean the disc, as you said. Okay? And we're gonna squeeze them with the fork. And that's why they need to be an outside temperature. Then I just fix it in there because I'm gonna use this paper. See? And I squeeze them in the other side also. As hard as you can, okay? Because otherwise they open. Now, I get this paper, I put it on top, and I start putting it on the plate. Let's do another one. Okay, put it in there. Let's get some shrimp first with the potato. I clean my hands every single time that I because I don't want to make too much mess. If they run too much to the front, just push them back, okay? And now we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna show you one day some of the chicken empanadas that I do. I call it the taco, chicken taco empanadas. And we're gonna squeeze them again. And we do the same thing with all of them. And this is how it's gonna look. Okay, once I finish with this, I put another paper on top because they're going to the freezer. You don't need to do that if you're gonna eat it. And then I get a plastic bag. I put it in there and fold it, and you can put a tape on the back so they don't keep opening. And here it is, some empanadas ready to put on the freezer or ready to eat. Now, let's go ahead and do a cheese empanada. The kids are gonna love this. So you get a piece of cheese, you can use the white cheese if you want, and we're gonna put it in there. What I do is I squeeze it with my fingers first, so I'm sure that it's close, and then you do the same thing. This one I'm going to eat it in the morning for my breakfast with my cup of coffee. So this one is, I'm going to put it on the side, and then I'm going to explain you how they do the pizza empanadas, which is the favorite for the kids. When I make them, they really, really like them. So what you do is, let's say you have the sauce, and you put the sauce for the pizza, and then you have pepperoni. Let's pretend that this is the pepperoni, okay? It's good to use the mini pepperonis, and if you have the big one, just cut them in 4 pieces. So let's see, this is the pepperoni, and then let's pretend that the potatoes are the cheese, and then you put some cheese in there, okay? And then you close them and do the same thing, and you can freeze them too. One of those days that you feel like cooking, you can do that. And remember, always do it in both sides, okay? This paper, I use it because that way they don't get together, and because if they get together, they break when you take them out. And this is my last one. You're going to put some potatoes and whatever goodies you have. You can see, you hardly see the little red sweet pepper, see? You don't see that at all. Because when they cook, they just kind of melt. It's for flavor. And looks, because they look really nice. So let's get it together in there. And here is the other tray with the empanadas in there. Let me clean my hands so I can go ahead and fry an empanada for you. Okay, here is the oil. It's hot. I just pinch a little empanada, a little bit, that you cannot mess it up. So I put that in the oil, and when they start bubbling, you see the oil is hot enough. Remember, I'm just gonna fry just one empanada, but when you're gonna fry more and they get too hot, first when you put them, you're not gonna be hot. But then you raise the temperature. Here is, we put the empanada in there. And sooner or later, you're gonna have to turn the heat down because they get really, really hot, and you don't want your empanadas to too brown, unless you really like them like that crunchy, like I said. I call them crunchy. Now with the leftover, look, I have all of these leftover. I just go ahead and cover it and put it in the freezer for the next time. Or if I make some rice, I can eat it with rice or mashed potatoes, etc. Now remember, you can use any cheese that you want to make these empanadas, okay? You need to be careful when we fry them. You don't want to get burned. In here, in this pot, you can put at least 3 empanadas in there. You can use the skillet. The reason I use this one used to be my rice pot. This used to belong to my mother. It's about 40 years old. It's thin. It got thin with time, really thin. So I don't like to cook the rice in here. And I adopted for frying everything that I can fry. But I use skillets also. So use your skillet, the one that you have that is deep enough to fry your empanadas, okay? See, they're getting ready. And the oil is really, really hot. I'm going to turn it down because it's only one empanada that I'm cooking. Let's check on this. If you like them more crunchy, you can go ahead and leave it crunchy. For me, this is done because I just cook the shrimp and everything. When you have them in the freezer, you get them out a day before, put it on the refrigerator, let them thaw a little bit, and then you fry them, because otherwise you're going to cook the empanada on the outside and the inside is going to be still frozen, okay? So here is your empanada. You put it in the paper, okay? And I'm going to cut this empanada for you so you see how it looks like. Here is your empanada, and usually what we do is we get a napkin, we get the empanada like this, and we start eating it. Please be careful because it's extremely hot on the inside. So I'm going to cut this for you with the scissor so you can see it. And here is the wonderful shrimp empanada ready to eat. Okay, I hope you like this video. Remember, if you like it, please give me some like and the little thumbs up. You can leave me a comment, and thank you for being with me. And remember, always be sure that you hit the bell, so every time I do a video, you're going to hear the bell, and they're going to let you know that Lizzie is in there cooking. Many kisses, a lot of hugs. I love you, and I hope you enjoy this dish. Bye-bye.